He thought he was being praised. He walked out of the meeting with a smile, feeling like a hero because his boss said, "This is a very brave proposal." But exactly 1 week later, that project was killed, and my friend, he was quietly sidelined.
That is a brutal story, Sophia. And the worst part is, the boss never actually lied. They just spoke a language that isn't found in any dictionary.
Exactly, Liam. In the world of high-level management, brave doesn't mean courageous. It often means unrealistic or even insane. Welcome to Business English for Success. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Liam. Look, if you've ever felt like there's an invisible wall between you and your leadership team, or if you've been confused by feedback that seems nice but leads nowhere, this deep dive is for you.
We are not just teaching you English today, we are giving you the secret decoder ring to Western corporate culture. Because your intelligence is judged by your ideas, but your career is determined by how you navigate these hidden power dynamics.
We've prepared 10 professional decoders for you. If you stay until part 10, our executive power move, you will learn how to lead your leader, even when they're wrong.
This knowledge is the difference between being a forever junior and stepping into an executive role. Let's start with a word that sounds like a compliment but is actually a conversation killer. Liam, let's talk about the word interesting. It's the most dangerous word in an office.
Really? I use it all the time. Last month, I suggested a new workflow to my director. He nodded and said, "That's an interesting idea, Liam." I was so happy. I thought he was impressed. But he never mentioned it again. Not once.
Oh, Liam. When a Western boss says, "That's interesting," without asking a single follow-up question, it's a polite dismissal. And once you miss this signal more than twice, you stop being seen as strategic. It's their way of saying, "I don't want to hurt your feelings, but your idea is irrelevant to our goals."
Wait, so he was basically throwing my idea in the trash while smiling at me? That feels almost dishonest.
It's not dishonesty, Liam. It's conflict avoidance. In executive circles, direct rejection is seen as low status. They use interesting as a placeholder for no. They keep their hands clean while you stay stuck in an illusion.
So I was just a victim of a polite smile? Okay, I'm not letting that happen again. How do I force them to be real with me?
You use the truth anchor. Don't just say thank you. You must pivot immediately. Say this: "I'm glad it caught your attention. To ensure I'm aligning with your current priorities, which specific part of the idea resonates most, and where do you see the biggest risks?"
Which part resonates and where are the risks? That's sharp. It forces them to stop being vague and start being a partner.
Exactly. You've just turned a polite no into a strategic discussion. But be careful, Liam. Once you start asking for the truth, the boss might try to push the conversation into a black hole, a place called later.
You mean the circle back phrase? I hear that one in my sleep.
Yes, part 2 is the phrase, "Let's circle back to this later." On the surface, it sounds like they are busy, but in the language of power, it's strategic procrastination. And people who don't recognize this pattern are often the same people still circling back 5 years later in the same role.
I knew it. My manager does this every time I ask about my professional development budget. Great point, Liam. Let's circle back to this in the next quarter. Well, the next quarter is here, and he just said it again. I feel like I'm chasing a ghost.
That's because he is exercising time authority. By delaying the topic, he is silently telling you that your needs are not his priority. He's hoping the problem, which is you asking for things, will just go away.
It makes me feel invisible, Sophia, like my growth doesn't matter. How does an easy business English user stop this without looking like they're attacking their boss?
You use the accountability lock. You don't fight the delay, you just define it. Understood. To make sure this doesn't get lost in our busy schedules, should we put this on the agenda for our next one-on-one on Tuesday?
Should we put this on the agenda for Tuesday? That's beautiful. I'm not being aggressive, I'm just being organized. But I'm actually forcing him to commit to a date.
Precisely. You are moving from a service provider to a business partner. But Liam, once you start pinning them down on time, they might change tactics. They might try to correct you, but they will do it so softly, you might not even feel the sting until it's too late.
The soft correction. Is that where they use that phrase, with all due respect?
Exactly. And in part 3, we are going to decode why that phrase is actually a warning sign that your authority is under attack. You'll want to hear this because the way Liam responds to it is a total game changer. Liam, let's get into something even more hidden than a delay. Have you ever been in a meeting, shared a plan you loved, and your boss started their sentence with all due respect?
Oh, I know that one. It's the velvet glove before the punch, right? I usually feel a butt coming.
Exactly. In corporate English, with all due respect often means I don't respect your point at all, and I'm about to tell you why you're wrong. It's a soft correction. They use it to keep a professional image while completely dismantling your ideas in front of the team.
It's so frustrating. Last week, my manager said, "With all due respect, Liam, I think we need to look at the bigger picture." I just sat there feeling like a small child who forgot his homework. What does the bigger picture even mean in the boss's language?
It's a power move, and this is usually the moment your credibility quietly drops in the room, Liam. It implies you are too tactical or short-sighted. By claiming the bigger picture, the boss positions themselves as the visionary leader and you as just the worker who doesn't understand the real goals.
Okay, I'm done feeling small. How do I respond when they try to soft correct me like that?
You don't get defensive. You use the alignment bridge. You say, I appreciate the perspective on the big picture. To ensure my plan is 100% aligned, which specific strategic goal do you feel this misses?
Which specific strategic goal does this miss? That's a trap for them. You're asking them to prove their big picture isn't just a vague excuse.
Precisely. You've turned their criticism into a request for guidance. But Liam, being wrong isn't the only way the boss controls you. Sometimes they control you through the clock.
You mean the constant ASAP emails? My hair is on fire every morning at 9 a.m. because of those.
That's the urgency code. And if you don't know how to read it, you'll be working until midnight for no reason. Let's look at why whenever you're free might be a secret trap.
Okay, Sophia, teach me. Is everything actually a priority? Because my inbox says urgent on every single line.
Think of it like a text from a friend saying, hey, call me whenever you're free. If it's your best friend, you know it's not urgent. But if it's a friend you owe money to, whenever you're free means call me right now.
Okay, I get it. So the relationship defines the deadline.
Exactly. In the office, the boss uses two specific codes. Code A, at your earliest convenience, and Code B, as soon as you can. Which one do you think is faster?
As soon as you can sounds like hurry up to me.
Actually, for many Western bosses, at your earliest convenience is the polite command. It often means, I want this by the end of the day, but I'm too professional to shout at you. Whereas, as soon as you can is often more flexible. It means whenever you have a gap in your schedule.
Shh, are you serious? I've been ignoring the convenience emails and rushing the ASAP ones. No wonder my boss looks so annoyed with me lately. I thought I was being helpful.
You were applying dictionary English to a corporate culture. When they say convenience, they are testing your institutional awareness. They expect you to know it's important without them saying it, because executives don't reward effort, they reward judgment.
I feel like I'm playing chess in the dark. How do I stop guessing and get my weekends back?
You use the priority check. Never assume a deadline. Reply with, I've received the request. To ensure I prioritize this correctly against the project we discussed yesterday, are you looking for this by EOD today or by noon tomorrow?
EOD today or noon tomorrow. I'm giving them two choices. That makes me look like a manager of my own time, not just a confused employee.
Exactly. You are showing executive presence. But Liam, there's a darker side to this. What happens when the work is done, but the boss says it's suboptimal?
Suboptimal? That sounds fancy. Like a high-tech word for good?
I wish. Suboptimal is the corporate word for a total disaster. Coming up in part 5, we're going to see Liam's biggest emotional explosion yet. Because when the boss says suboptimal, they aren't just giving feedback, they are attacking your value. You don't want to miss how Liam finally stands up for himself. Liam, we are entering the darkest territory now. Negative feedback. How would you feel if you spent 48 hours straight on a financial model and the boss said, the results are somewhat suboptimal?
Suboptimal. I mean, it sounds technical. Like a 7 or 8 out of 10? I'd probably just think I needed to fix a few formulas.
I hate to break this to you, but in the executive world, suboptimal is a polite way of saying this is a total disaster. If a CEO tells a board of directors that performance was suboptimal, they are basically saying they failed.
What? A total disaster? Sophia, that is ridiculous. Why don't they just say, this is bad or I hate it? Why use a $10 word like suboptimal to hide the truth?
Because high-status leaders never lose their cool. They use understatements as a weapon. If they shout, they look unprofessional. If they say suboptimal while staying perfectly calm, they look powerful, and you look like the one who failed their high standards.
So what am I supposed to do? Just keep smiling while being used? Just accept that my hard work is erased by one cold, fancy word? It's manipulative, Sophia. It's exhausting to play this game every single day.
Liam, take a breath. If this feels uncomfortable, that's because no one ever trained you for this game. You were trained to be polite and hardworking, but in this office, you aren't being judged on your effort. You are being judged on your executive resilience. Do you want to stay angry or do you want to win?
I want to win. Tell me how to answer that suboptimal comment without losing my dignity.
Use the gap analysis pivot. Stop defending the past, lead the future. You say, I appreciate the honest assessment. To move from suboptimal to our target KPIs, I've identified 3 specific areas for immediate adjustment. Can we review the roadmap now?
To move from suboptimal to target KPIs. I'm taking their negative word and using it as a bridge to my next success.
Exactly. You've just reclaimed your power. But be careful, Liam. Once you show you can handle disasters, the boss will try to reward you with something that sounds like an opportunity, but is actually a trap.
Okay, I'm ready for part 6. What's this reward that's actually a trap?
It's called the involvement illusion. Imagine the boss says, Liam, I'd love for you to take the lead on this new cross-functional committee. It's great visibility for you.
After everything you've told me, visibility sounds like a trap, is it?
Most of the time, visibility is a non-monetary reward. They give you extra work and pay you in exposure instead of money. In the secret language of Western bosses, take the lead on this often means, I have a messy project with no budget, and I'm giving it to you because you're too nice to say no.
So if the project fails, I'm visible for the failure. If it succeeds, the boss takes the credit.
Bingo. You are becoming the most overworked person in the company while your salary stays exactly the same.
So how do I test if the visibility is real or fake?
You ask for the resource reality. You say, I appreciate the trust you're placing in me. To ensure this project gets the focus it deserves, what specific resources or budget have been allocated to this new initiative?
If there's no budget, it's not a project, it's just a burden.
Exactly. You've just exposed the illusion. You are learning, Liam, but there's one more layer of nice words that can destroy your weekend.
Don't tell me. It's the minor comments email, isn't it?
Precisely. And in part 7, we're going to show you why minor comments are actually a sign that you need to rewrite everything. Trust me, you'll want to hear how Sophia handles a boss who wants 42 minor changes at 5 p.m. on a Friday.
Sophia, part 7 hits home for me. Last Friday at 4:30 p.m., I sent my manager a slide deck. He replied, "Nice work, Liam. I just have a few minor comments. Let's discuss." I thought I was 95% done. I was ready to go home.
And let me guess, those minor comments weren't just about the font size, were they?
Not even close. There were 42 comments. He wanted to change the target audience, the data sources, and the entire conclusion. How can anyone call a total rewrite minor? It's like saying a house needs minor repairs when it doesn't have a roof.
It's a classic psychological cushion, Liam. In the secret language of Western bosses, a few minor comments means I'm going to change almost everything, but I want to stay nice so you don't quit your job right now.
But it's so disrespectful of my time. If the direction was wrong, why wait until Friday evening to tell me? I feel like I'm running a race where the finish line keeps moving. Is this just how it is?
It is if you use the priority pivot. You have to reflect their language back at them to show the cost of their minor changes.
Tell me, how do I stop the Friday night nightmare?
You don't argue about the feedback. You argue about the time. Say this, I appreciate these adjustments. Since these minor comments shift our core strategy, which of them should be my top priority to meet our Monday deadline, and which can wait?
Oh, I'm calling the minor back to him, and I'm forcing him to choose what's actually important.
Exactly. You're making him realize that 42 comments is a massive task, not a minor one. You're doing great, Liam, but keep in mind, the meaning of these phrases also changes depending on where your boss was born.
You mean English isn't just English?
Oh, not at all. Think of it like food. American English is like a burger, direct, and what you see is what you get. British English is like an onion. You have to peel 10 layers to find the truth. And German English, that's a straight shot of espresso.
I love that. So how is a London boss different from a New York boss?
Let's take the phrase, I hear what you say. If an American boss says it, it usually means, I understand your point, even if I don't agree yet.
That's not too bad. What about the British?
If a British boss says, I hear what you say, they often mean, I disagree and I've already stopped listening. It's a very polite way to end a conversation you are losing.
No way. And the Germans or the Dutch?
They wouldn't even say it. They'd just say, this idea is wrong because of X. People get hurt by the Germans because they are too blunt, and they get tricked by the British because they are too polite.
It's like I need a different brain for every time zone. Give me a simple rule, Sophia. My head is spinning.
Okay, here is your golden rule of directness to remember forever. 1. The British rule. If it sounds slightly negative, it's a disaster. 2. The American rule. If it sounds like a compliment, it's just a hello. 3. The German rule. If it sounds like an insult, it's just a fact.
British equals it's worse than it sounds. American equals don't take it too personally. German equals just the facts. That is the most useful thing I've heard all day.
Good, because you'll need that clarity for what's coming next. We are moving from surviving the boss to leading the boss.
Part 9, Reclaiming Control?
Yes, we are going to teach you how to ask for the no. Most people are afraid of the word no, but for a high-value professional, no is where your real power begins. Let's see why.
Sophia, I'm ready. I've learned to spot the interesting trap and the circle back black hole. But how do I actually force the boss to be honest? I'm tired of guessing what they really think.
To get the truth, Liam, you have to stop asking for permission and start asking for critical friction. Most people ask weak questions like, do you like this? Or is this okay?
Guilty as charged. I always ask if they like it because I want to hear yes.
But a yes that isn't true is a slow poison for your career. To reclaim control, you must ask for the no. It sounds terrifying, but it's the ultimate secret of high-value consultants.
Ask for the no? Why would I invite them to reject me?
Because a no is honest information, a maybe is just a waste of time. Try this script next time you present an idea. Sophia, I want this to be a 10 out of 10. If you had to reject this proposal right now, what would be the primary reason?
Wow. If you had to reject this right now, that's a truth serum. They can't say, it's interesting after that. They have to tell me the real flaw.
Exactly. You've just bypassed the secret language. You aren't a student asking for a grade anymore. You are a partner looking for a solution. But Liam, there is one final level.
The executive level?
Yes, part 10. Everything you've learned so far helps you survive the office. This next part, this helps you lead it.
Welcome to Part 10. This is the executive level. This is where you stop being an employee who follows orders and start being the person the boss relies on to make decisions.
I can feel the shift in energy, Sophia. What happens when the boss is wrong, but they're using their authority to push a bad idea?
A junior argues, a senior consults. You use the future fact response. You don't tell them they are wrong, you show them the future where their idea fails, and you ask them to fix it.
Give me the script. I need this for my meeting tomorrow.
When the boss pushes a bad plan, you say, I can see the logic in that approach. However, if we move forward with this, what is your perspective on how we would mitigate the risk of X and Y?
I'm not saying no. I'm asking them to solve the problems their idea creates. It's brilliant. You're respecting their status while protecting the company.
Precisely. By asking for their perspective, you give them an out. You allow them to save face while they realize their plan won't work. This is how you sound expensive, Liam. This is how you become the person they promote to director.
Sophia, I don't feel like the confused Liam who started this video. I feel like I finally have a seat at the table.
You always had a seat, Liam. You just didn't have the subtitles for the conversation. Now you do.
We've covered a lot today, from decoding Brave to leading your leader with executive presence.
Remember, everyone, business English is not about how many big words you know. It's about how much of the unspoken game you can see. English is just the tool, but decoding is the strategy.
If I had known these 10 things years ago, I wouldn't have spent so many Friday nights working on minor comments. But for everyone watching, the game changes today.
Exactly. Don't let this knowledge die in your watch history. If you are serious about your career, and I mean truly serious about moving to the next level, don't just watch. Apply this tomorrow.
And if today's deep dive changed how you see your office, please hit that like button and subscribe to Business English for Success. It tells us you want more of this high-level executive content.
Don't forget to check the description for your secret decoder cheat sheet. It's a physical guide you can keep on your desk to remind you, boss says A but means B.
Go out there and reclaim your authority. Stop speaking like an employee and start speaking like a leader. I'm Liam.
And I'm Sophia. We will see you in the next deep dive. Goodbye.